In this episode, Papa Swole and company is encouraging all of you to eat through the weekend. Make sure you're getting your fiber, your protein, your fat. Make sure you're eating every fucking day, Saturday, Sunday. Just don't fall off the fucking pony for 2 fucking days. It's not that complicated.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Test equals. Welcome and welcome everyone to episode 645 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, mancast, cockcast, nipplecast, jackedcast, and swolecast, and hugecast, and Saturday cast, and fatcast. In the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps, and look at that. There is no denying that that is a bicep that is large and in charge, might I add. So what the fuck is going on a Saturday? Welcome to episode 645. Today is eating through the weekend. The only reason that matters, and the main reason why you have to stop being a lazy fuck and stay on your game every day, including Saturday and Sunday. Whatever the prefix is, we are on track. Let me just move my shit around. Very chill on a Saturday. Chill every day. Pretty chill every day, because that's how we roll. We do whatever the fuck we want here on the Swole. We say whatever we want. Hide the children, hide the babies. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck. This is NC-17 for those sick gains. They don't make NC-17 movies anymore, do they? R-rated movies have just gotten so lax that they don't even have to make NC-17. Remember when we were all younger, when something would come out and it was NC-17? Oh, you have to be extra old and mature to watch this movie because there's going to be boobies, a lot of them. Oh my God. Now it's just like R or it's X. It's like, it's just either it's porn or it's R. Like it's all, you can watch everything. Once the internet came out, you can't really just stop anyone from seeing anything. So let's say hi to the family. Thank you for joining me live on Instagram. Thanks for joining live on Facebook. And thank you for everyone checking out the podcast on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Google Play. So you can catch the audio gains everywhere. And also you can catch the videos later on Facebook and YouTube. So we're everywhere, whatever social media platform you prefer. You can catch the Swole, of course. I think it's best to do it live. It's either live or audio. I mean, unless you just want to watch me have a beard and watch me talk. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I like it. Show up live if you can and check out the podcast if you can't. I'm everywhere you need to be. Ductorious on Instagram. About to start cleaning my pad and do some homework. Had some great sparring sessions yesterday. Cool. Enjoy your fight. Enjoy your fake fighting. I'm kidding. It's real fighting. It's real fighting, but not serious. It's like a soccer match. It's called a friendly. It's like we're playing a game, but it doesn't really matter who wins. I like that. I'm down. I think the last one was CB4. What's CB4? You guys are weird. We got some random comments. I always miss something. I'll miss one comment, and then everyone starts having a conversation, and I jump in at the end. I'm that guy. It's my podcast, and I'm that guy that comes in like, wait, what'd you guys say? What you talking about me? You guys talking about me? So make sure you drop your questions. We're going to talk a little bit about nutrition today, but mostly mindset, and how you have to be through the weekend, because today's Saturday, and it's a perfect day for you to stop doing what you should be doing. It's a perfect day for you to be lazy. It's a perfect day for you to slack off and start dilly-dallying in the devil's work. Meaning Cheetos and Oreos and being a fat fuck. So let's try not to do that. Let's try to hold off on being, tons of fun this weekend. It's just 2 days. I don't really have much to say aside from this angle. Aside from it's just 2 fucking days. It's just 2 fucking days. It's amazing how challenging that is for most people, that it's 2 days It's 2 days. 2 days that you just have to stay on track to get back to your schedule. Just 2 days. You can't do it for just 2 days. You can't be healthy for just 2 days, just Saturday and Sunday. Just 2 more days. Just 2 more days. Just 2. Just 2. And you're back on your routine. That's all. You really only have to survive the weekends. And if that's your sensitive area, if that's like your sweet spot, if that's like when you normally just fall off, that's all you have to do is survive through the weekend. So I'm going to help you do that. We're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. There's an interesting little survey study that was done about low carbohydrate, high fat. That was done in the British Journal of Medicine. And we'll talk about, it's called Assessing the Nutrient Intake of a Low Carbohydrate, High Fat Diet. So it's pretty hypothetical. It's assessing nutrients, because what we've been talking about recently is that high fat's not bad. It's a great option for weight loss, a great option for maintaining health. It's just a healthy way to go around for resetting the whole sugar debacle that everyone's going through, right? And that's what you're going through this weekend. That's what makes this episode today so applicable, of course, every day. I mean, it's fitness and nutrition. But because on the weekends, what? It's alcohol, it's drinking, it's chips, it's soda, it's fucking processed foods. It's just carbohydrates are everywhere. And the reason why carbohydrates are sold so much, and that's the main function of junk foods, because it gives instant gratification. It gives our senses like, oh my God, that fucking brain and that sensory orgasm. And it sends us on that roller coaster that makes us crave more. Sweet sugar, salt, sweet sugar, salt. That bliss point that just makes us want to keep on eating these foods over and over again until we finish the bag or we feel sick. And fat doesn't really do that. Quality fats don't really do that. They're satisfying. They fill you up. They give you nutrients, and they're easily accessible for energy. So let's see. What up, Swole? Finally get to make a live show. New to the family. Welcome, Brandon. Let's see. Let's say hi. Let's see some comments here. What up, Papa Swole? Finally see you live. Work third shift. So Apple Podcast is the main go-to, but love the live. We all love the live. Was just watching some training videos on Swolenormous X. Rock on, Becky. More videos to come. Going to be adding some more stuff today. CB4, Chris Rock movie. Yeah, what are you guys talking about? What's your opinion on German volume training, the 10x10 report scheme? Okay, try it. See if you like it. That's my opinion on it. German volume training. Volume training works. Hypertrophy comes from, volume. Brandon, what up, Swole? New to the family as of Thursday. That's right, you joined Swolenormous X. Got some sweet potatoes in the oven while chilling live. What up, Master Yoda of the Swole? I like it. One more comment before we begin. Danny Rowland, 42 years old. What is the best estrogen blocker out today? No opinion on that. No opinion on that. You just need to start eating some better fucking food, bro. The best estrogen blocker? How about eating better food? You got to overhaul your diet. This distraction on the wrong shit. You shouldn't be looking for estrogen blockers. If you're doing testosterone replacement, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor and get some TRT or something, or just start eating better. The right foods, your body will regulate your hormones properly. We fuck up our hormones for our entire lives, and then we look for a supplement that's going to block estrogen. Food. Eat food. Eat food. On the keto diet, they keep doing keto. You'll be good. You don't need an estrogen blocker. I have absolutely no opinions on any of that stuff. I have no idea what's out, what will be good. I don't think anyone should be playing with over-the-counter oral fucking blockers like that. I don't think they work that well, if at all, or they're dangerous for you. Any of the real shit, to be honest, any of the real shit that affects hormones directly that should be taken, anything like testosterone, should be medical grade, should be from the medical community. I mean, you're getting, who knows what the fuck makes it over the counter now, especially when it comes to that. I just be very careful. Any kind of like testosterone boosters, those pills and powders, those are usually just fucking scams. Or they just don't do what they say they do. The real thing is the real thing. Testosterone works. Why do you think people take fucking steroids? Because it works. It works. You see these people. It fucking works. It works, but the risks are there. and they don't know all the risks. So let's talk a little bit more about this study. It was a little bit interesting. So the nutrient intake. So without getting too much into the details in terms of like all the fucking details. So I'll talk about the limitations, so the strengths and the limitations of this study. So again, it's assessing a low carbohydrate, high fat versus a higher carbohydrate. In other words, is the nutrient density of a lower carb, high fat diet sufficient? Because one of the arguments is when you cut down carbohydrates, when you're not eating as much carbs and you're eating high fat, that you're not getting the same nutrients. You're not getting the same nutrient density, right? You might be missing some valuable nutrients. So is that true? And of course, this is one study with one population, and that's going to be one of the limitations. But let me read through the strengths. So one of the strengths of this study, self-proclaimed, is that they used an accurate, professional, and local food composition database for dietary analysis. So they used a food database where they could reference the nutrient values of said foods. Another strength of this study is that the specialty foods, such as fortified foods, and generally unpopular tasting foods, such as liver and mussels, were specifically excluded from the selection to avoid bias towards nutrient density. As some of you might have known from my recent posts about, liver, for example, I posted some grass-fed liver that I bought recently on my Instagram because it's one of the most nutrient-dense food sources that you can possibly eat. It's got so many nutrients. So obviously, if you have liver in the diet, it's going to skew it dramatically because of the nutrient dense. So they didn't go to any extremes. All right. So any of the food groups that might just overblow the study, they eliminated, especially because liver is not a popular food. Not a lot of people go for that because it doesn't taste that great on most palates. So nutrient dense or not, it's not a popular food, so they eliminated it just for any bias. And one of the limitations of this study is that the results are specific to these two case studies that were selected, and inference to population groups cannot be made. So the study and looking at this data is only limited to the case studies that they selected. In other words, just like most studies, it's just, again, we're creating this dialogue of what research is out there, that the studies that are being looked at here, it's mostly observational. We're looking at these foods and we're looking at the data from these groups. It doesn't mean that X, Y, and Z will cause said reaction. It doesn't mean that eating a certain way will cause this. This is just an observation and analysis from available data. Does that make sense? So to assume causation, to assume anything other than a correlation that could lead to, okay, we need some more research on the subject, it's important to understand that most of these studies like this with nutrition have limitations or should be looked at through a lens that, okay, this is not, the answer, be all, end all, boom, we should be making public policy based on this information. There's always room for, okay, well, that's only specific to this data. That's not, there's a lot of variables. So we've talked about that. Okay, so the summary and conclusion is that despite macronutrient proportions not aligning with current national dietary guidelines, meaning that the macronutrient proportions that would align with national guidelines is a low-fat diet, and we're aware of that. So the world has been preaching, and especially the English-speaking world has been preaching lower fat in order to reduce heart risk, in order to get more nutrients, and it's healthier to do low fat. Okay, so that's what it means by the national dietary guidelines. So because they're studying high fat, low carb, that does not align with the national guidelines. Okay, just setting the stage here. A well-planned, low carbohydrate, high fat meal plan can be considered essentially satisfactory for micronutrients. This is an important finding for health professionals, consumers, and critics of low carbohydrate, high fat nutrition, as it dispels the myth that these diets are suboptimal in their micronutrient supply. As with any diet, for optimal nutrient achievement, meals need to be well formulated. Okay, so it's a little bit, it's a little bit vague. It's like, okay, well, obviously you need to well formulate a nutrition plan or a diet. And I don't think there's any argument there. I don't think us as a community, I don't think the Swole Nation, I don't think we would argue that no matter what your nutrition approach is on a Saturday, on a Sunday, what you're continuing your trend. I don't think there's any argument that it needs to be well formulated. Whether you are a vegan, whether you do low carb, high fat, whether you're doing high carb, whether you're doing paleo, whatever your approach is, it should be well formulated. You need to have an actual approach. You need to have a structure behind it. It's not just randomly throwing shit at the wall. The problem that we talked about, was it yesterday? Diet plans, how people just follow someone's fucking diet plan blindly. You pay for a diet plan and just follow the leader. You don't learn anything. You just say, oh, let me do that. I'll do what she's doing. Oh, keto worked for my friend. My friend's been talking about keto, so I'm doing keto now. You don't do any fucking research. Like, you're not curious as to what's really going on. You're just going to go and fucking do it, right? You're just going to go and fucking do it. You're going to go and eat a certain food because your friend is eating a certain food. And it worked for him. It worked for her. I think we severely underestimate the importance of the only source of nutrients we're getting in our life. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? The only way that you are getting energy, the only fucking way you're getting energy, the only way you're getting calories, the only way you're getting nutrients, the only way, everyone, fam, the only way you're not getting rectal nutrition, you're not absorbing nutrients through your fucking skin. The only way you're getting the nutrients that you need to survive, to build, to grow, to shred fat, to blah, 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 is going in through your mouth. What you eat is extremely important. What you eat is extremely important. It's extremely important. It's not a joke. It's not, oh, I think I'm going to eat like this today. I think I'm going to eat these foods today. I think I'm going to cheat today. That means if you're eating junk, the only way you're getting nutrients is through the garbage that you're putting in your face. You're literally telling your body, do the best that you can with this fucking trash because I'm going to give you absolute shit today. Every diet has to be well formulated. This example is just showing that with the research and with the studies and what the window that they looked through for this particular study shows that you could still get all your micronutrients with a low carb, high fat. I don't think we were arguing that as a community. We weren't arguing that. But it's great to see additional research that shows, okay, low carb, high fat is not the enemy. It's not bad. It's not dangerous. You're not missing nutrients. On the other hand, you could be missing vital nutrients if you don't consume any animal products, such as veganism. You're missing vital nutrients you need to supplement with. So any plan, especially an extreme plan, needs to have a formulated approach. You can't just randomly eat foods. And just to put the pressure back on and the importance back on, the foods that you eat is the only source of nutrition. It's the only source of energy. It's the only source of repair. It's the only source that you are getting, period. There's no mystery nutrients that are just floating through the sky. There's nothing that is just, you might get just by being alive. It's just, it's interesting. It's interesting because of what you want to happen, right? What you expect to happen from eating healthy, what you expect to happen from a proper diet, what you expect to happen in a short period of time, in a long period of time. What you want to happen is going to come down to your nutrition and, of course, your exercise and your training. But your nutrition is essential. And the fact that your nutrition can only go in one way, it's one hole. It's going in and it's coming out. That's it. So everything you put in is going to play a role. It's either going to help you or it's going to hurt you. So when you're eating your food, When you're eating your food, you have to think, how is this helping me? Don't worry about, oh, is this good? Is this bad? I mean, should I be eating this? Should I feel guilty? Oh, it's my cheat day. How is it helping you? If it's pizza, you can't make the argument that it's helping you. It's not helping you. You're satisfying your cravings because you don't have willpower. Oh, I'm bulking, carbo loading. Like, yeah, that fit life, I trained so I could eat pizza. You're eating pizza because you're trying to make an excuse to eat junk food for that instant gratification because you're a fat ass inside. And you give off the illusion that you're in shape because you genetically can balance out eating the pizza with lifting weights, and you look lean, and you're fooling yourself. Does it mean you're not healthy? No, but you're tricking yourself. You're allowing yourself to be an addict. You're allowing yourself that, but you're kind of tricking yourself. That's stupid. I work out so I can eat food. What the fuck does that mean? We make all these excuses and these phrases, right? I work out so I can eat food. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You cannot correlate being lean. You cannot correlate having abs or having big muscles to being healthy. You can have muscles and you can be lean and be very unhealthy. We know that from people that fucking take tons of steroids. They have big muscles, they're lean, and they could have enlarged organs. They could have issues inside. They could have cancer. They might have heart disease and they might need surgery. It's just, we justify a lot of things. I'm not saying that's good, bad, cheat meals. I'm not hating on anyone that likes pizza. I don't care what you do, but what justifications are you making and what really is the effect of these foods? And you only have one shot. You only have one direction for the food to go in. You only have one source of your fuel. There's only one way you can get fuel in, and that's through your mouth. So whatever you put in your mouth is going to be perpetuated in your actions, in your results, in how you look and how you feel. It's the only way to get sustenance and nutrition. So when you start thinking about, okay, what I eat is that important. That's the only way I'm getting my fuel. It's the only way I'm getting my nutrients. It's the only way. And maybe I should not be filling up the time and the space and the volume in my face hole with bullshit foods that don't have nutrients. Because if you start filling it up with empty calories, you're missing nutrients. You're going to be full, or you're going to overeat with calories. Your caloric intake is going to be excessive. You're going to spike your insulin too much. You're going to store more body fat. It just takes you down a different path, because if you're eating a lot of food but you're not getting the nutrients, you're still going to feel hungry. You're still going to feel cravings. You're still going to feel unsatisfied. That's why eating a well-balanced, healthy diet that's high in fat, that you're getting tons of nutrients, that's very satisfying, you don't feel hungry. You don't get tons of cravings when you're pounding a lot more fat. When you're on the keto diet, you don't get a lot of cravings. I don't know your personal experiences, but the more fat I eat, the less cravings I have. I'm satisfied. You're full. You've consumed. You've eaten food. It was feeding time at the zoo and you ate. You don't want like, oh, I wish I had some chips. You just ate like fucking tons of fat. Like you're full. You're full. You're full. You got calories. You got your energy in. Like you packed it in. You're done. So when you're getting the right nutrients in, you're going to have less cravings. You're going to have less of those pangs to fill up that empty void because you're getting it. Okay. So, interesting. Just a little bit more support from the end of high fat, low carb, that you're not missing nutrients if you choose a high fat diet in this instance, just this review. So additional content based on that, and I'll keep on pulling up studies. I'll pull up things from all aspects, because studies and research, remember, just show the results of that specific test or what they're looking at in that specific sense. They could be looking at previous research data. They could be looking at epidemiological data. They could be doing a clinical trial on a specific set few people with a medication. It's just, that's what research is. We're finding out more information. The more information, the more things we find out, and the more bases we touch and the more stones we overturn, the better idea we have. We just need more studies. We need more studies. We need more volume. We need more evidence, right, to really make these concrete decisions. That's what it really comes down to. We need more evidence and many more studies to really say this is better. Until then, there are different options. There are different options. There could arguably, you can make the argument for certain ones being better options than others, but you can't dispel any of these types and eating styles because a lot of people have success on them. So what's right, what's wrong, we don't have that information on literally what's right and what's wrong yet, but that's why these studies are great to maybe be like, oh, well, maybe we should look down this road a little bit more. Oh, well, now that's the case. Let's check that out a little bit, right? Okay. Okay. So let's take some questions. Questions about nutrition, exercise. Let's get into it a little bit. It's a Saturday, and I always want to take more questions on the weekend, or I like to, because a lot of people on the weekends have different schedules and you're not able to watch during the week live. So now you can get your rocks off asking old Papa Swole some questions. How are we doing on Instagram's freaking out, huh? Oh, I didn't see any. Oh, the comments weren't scrolling. I must have stopped it. Let's take a comment. Lewis Jacob 18 on IG. I've done low carb, high fat now for about a year, and I use juicing to get my micronutrients. I feel great and I can easily gain, maintain, or lose weight, and how to tweak it. Yeah, you just tweak it with carbs if you want to gain. You juice. I blend. I don't juice, so I want to get the fiber. I don't want to get all the sugar just from the juicing. But I definitely like, I blend my vegetables a lot. That's why I love keto fats. Keto fats keep me so satisfied. Tim Whiskerchen. Whenever you start to get weak, think what would Papa Swole do? Is that it? What would Papa Swole do? Not eat the shit. That's what. Papa Swole stays away from most of the shit. My shit is like, I kind of look at my cheat foods. You know what's great is if you look at the foods you love as cheat foods, then when you're cheating, you're still eating good foods. Like I look at bacon as like my cheat food. It's like, oh, I'm still eating good, I'm eating bacon. Or I'll have my super dark chocolate, or, you know, it's like when I cheat, it's not really cheating. My idea of cheating, or, oh, I ate that, I shouldn't, is not really, I don't really, it's kind of hard for me to cheat. For me, cheating is what most people is super healthy. You get a beer here and there. Tiffany Doherty, Papa Swole, question. Why is it that alcohol makes you hungry? Seriously, I'm not just making a joke. I'm not making a joke. You sugar crash. It doesn't matter if it's 1 glass of wine or 12 beers. You sugar crash. You sugar crash. You're consuming alcohol. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram. So it's just under fat, and it's more than carbs and protein. It's almost more than carbs and protein combined. So 7 calories per gram of alcohol, and you come down, you crash. You crash. Also, you have that association with when you're drinking, you're usually eating. So there's that placebo effect and that association that when you're drinking, you should be eating food too, and eating greasy foods. And I believe there's some other logic behind that. And there's some other, I forget the reason why you crave like greasy foods and shit. There's something with like the imbalance. I don't know if it's in the brain or whatnot, why people crave like greasier foods late at night. I forget that research. I remember there was something to do with that, so you can Google that, of course. But a lot of what happens with alcohol drinking is because it's essentially sugar. Your body's processing sugar alcohols. So when that crashes, you get that low point, and you feel that kind of like that you get that insulin kick, that low sugar response. So you want to fill that up. You want to go back up on the roller coaster. Avocado ice cream is my cheat. The fuck is that? Sounds kind of gross, but sounds kind of good. I like avocados. Is there anything I do when bulking and pull-ups become difficult because of weight gain? What does that mean? Keep doing pull-ups. If you get heavier, it's going to be harder. Get stronger. Do negatives. Do isometrics. I mean, or lose weight. There's really no like option. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to just keep on getting stronger and stronger as you get bigger and bigger with pull-ups. Brianna Williams, my brother, is trying to put on some weight. What do you think about him drinking gainer shakes? I think he should save his money and eat real food. Gainer shakes are just full of sugar and starch and crap. It's like 1,500 calories of just fucking sugar and garbage. Just eat food. Eat more food. I never took gainer shakes to build and bulk. It was just a ton of food. It's not easy. You know the reason why weight gainer shakes make money? It's because, if I take this shake, I can get a ton of calories in. Because it's hard to eat when you're full. Like literally when you're gaining weight, when you're trying to bulk, you're eating when you're full. You're not hungry, doesn't matter. You eat. You eat 5 fucking meals a day. Why do you think this whole 5, 6, 7 meal a day thing got popular? Because it's hard to eat all the meals and all the calories in one sitting. You have to eat 500 calories every couple hours because it's easier to get in those calories throughout the entire day. You eat 500 calories 6 times a day, you get in 3,000. Otherwise, 3,000 in one meal is extremely challenging, and your body can't absorb and digest all the nutrients right away. So you spread it out. It's food. You got to eat when you're full and keep on eating. Bulking is a job, and it's a lot of food all the time, 7 days a week, whether you're hungry or not, whether you're exercising or not. Bulking is bulking. It's getting fat. It's pretty much essentially getting fat, but getting fat on good foods. So if you want to do it without putting on too much extra junk weight, it's a lot of food and it's not easy. That's why most people don't put on a lot of weight. That's why most people don't get really big, because they don't eat enough and they don't take the nutrition like a job. They think it's done in the gym and it's not. They severely underestimate the importance of nutrition when it comes to bulking. That's why most people don't get huge. Or how do I get big? You don't fucking eat enough. Well, I eat all day. Yeah, I eat it. No, you don't. You don't. What are you, some fucking like alien? All of a sudden calories and food consumption doesn't apply to you? You don't. If you're not big enough, you're not eating enough. You're not training hard enough. So simple. Tiffany, thanks for the great answer. As always, I've still been keeping it in check. But when I wanted a glass of wine with friends, it was surprising that those old cravings were still there. They're not old cravings. They're new cravings. You're just having them all the time. If you drink, if you understand that you're going to have cravings, eat before you drink. And then when you drink, just don't eat and just have that willpower. Be like, I'm going to have cravings. Oh, I have a craving. Once you recognize those signals as being bullshit, you realize you're not hungry. Your body's just saying, hey, eat this. You're like, I'm not hungry. I don't need food. Or you give into it, but then you're not going to be happy because you're going to gain weight and be fat and blah, blah, blah. So you have to have that willpower. If you know I'm going to drink, and if I drink, I'm going to have those cravings, then just ignore the cravings. Understand that they're going to be there, and then just don't abide by them and don't play into them. Lena, what do you think about to do 3 days resistance training, 2 or 3 sets, 30 to 40 reps, other 3 days with high loads? I don't. Why waste your time going to the gym to do 30 and 40 rep sets? No, don't do 3 days high reps and 3 days high. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Why are you going to the gym 6 days a week and doing alternating high reps and low reps? Just go and fucking do them all with 10 to 12 reps. If you're trying to build physique and shape and lose weight, don't waste your time going to the gym 3 days out of the week and doing 30 or 40 reps. You're just wasting your time. Lift heavy and do yoga. Should I watch how many sweet potatoes I eat in a day? I have them for breakfast, sometimes at night too. I try to only eat plant-based foods. I'm not sure how far you're taking that whole plant-based thing, but how many sweet potatoes? I like a higher fat diet. You shouldn't be going crazy with carbohydrates, in my opinion. So, 2 sweet potatoes a day is not bad. I don't think there's any limit to like damage you'll get from sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are fantastic. What would you recommend as a high-fat add-on with a salmon sweet potato to help me stay full? I just don't want to be hungry in an hour. What's with this whole, like, I don't want to be hungry? Then eat more. You won't be hungry in an hour if you eat more food. You might not be eating enough food. If you're trying to bulk, you need to eat more. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating less calories, you're going to feel hungry. That's what happens. Your body wants to maintain. If you want to say, you're saying, what should I add on to stay full? You're adding on calories. So you stay full. You're not eating enough food. Salmon and a sweet potato isn't necessarily that filling. Just put some butter on it or something. Put some butter on the sweet potato. There's no much add on, or eat more of it. Eat more of it. Now, don't make a weight gainer shake. Those things are fucking garbage. There's nothing good about a weight gainer shake. Elena Blankenship, on keto for weight loss, should you still be eating as high in fat, or will, even though you're eating high fat, will your body still use your own fat as well as the fat you're... Yeah, I think you're confusing. That's a confusing question. Yes. On keto for weight loss, should you still be eating as high in fat? Keto is high fat. So everyone that's thinking about doing keto, most of you are just following. I don't know where the fuck people are getting their information for ketosis, but it's terrible. Ketosis is high fat. It's extremely high fat. You're barely eating carbohydrates. You're eating no net carbs, essentially. You're eating just vegetables, just fat and vegetables and some protein. Ketosis, it takes you a couple weeks to get into. Some sites say 2 days. Get the fuck out of here. You're not getting ketosis in 2 days. It'll take you at least a week or two. Really. It's high fucking fat. It's fucking high fat. There's no options. There's no like low fat keto or higher fat keto. Ketosis is a metabolic process in the body. Here's what happens. You're essentially telling your body, you know what? Body, you prefer using sugar. You prefer using glucose, glycogen. I know, you like it. However, I am also aware that you can use blood ketones, that you can metabolize fats really efficiently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove carbohydrates from the diet. That way you're forced to figure out. Pretty much when you go keto, you're telling your body, you know what, body, without getting into all the science, you're going to fucking figure it out. You're getting only fat, deal with it. And your body's like, fuck, hell no, I'm not dealing with it. I want my carbs. Fuck you, bitch. And then you only give it fat. Your body's like, fuck this. Then you give it some more fat. Your carbs like, I don't want it. And eventually your body gets so fucking hungry and it's like, you know what? All right, I'll deal with it. And then your body fucking figures it out. And your body starts utilizing fat on your body that you're consuming. Your body just, it pretty much unlocks all those trapped fat stores. Because when you force your body to shift energy systems, it will unlock all these storage areas, or most of them, many of them. That's why people have dramatic weight losses on keto, because it unlocks these fat stores that get kind of trapped away because your body has no need to tap into them because you're on a sugar roller coaster all the time. Eating low fat, high carbs, yay. Bullshit. I have fucking abs. My muscles look great. I eat low amounts of carbs. I eat a ton of fat. I'll make bacon. How many servings are in a pack of bacon? One for Papa Swole. I fucking eat a pack of bacon. Then I'll throw 2 pounds of beef in the pan and I'll cook it up for the next day or so. And then I'll eat a lot of fat. I'll have my greens too. I had a fucking kale smoothie this morning. Like I'll eat my veggies, but I have a lot of fat and I'm lean and I'm muscular. I feel great. My skin looks amazing. My beard fucking on point. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. So I'll get to that question. I see a couple comments pop up. Facebook is going great. Instagram, I think, is a little bit glitchy. Let me take something on Instagram quick. Blake Parker, why is the fitness industry full of extreme? There really isn't much balance. Everyone holds on to their beliefs like it's life or death. I don't want to say that people hold on to their beliefs as if it's like, I think it's because we expect there to be an answer. I think that's why. People in the fitness industry and, trainer, everyone expects there to be an answer. Like, we're humans, there's a best way to do it. I don't think there is one way to have success. Case in point, you have all these people that are like vegans, vegan athlete, he's 90 and he's a vegan. Okay, obviously it works for that person. How can you argue the facts? Like if someone lives a whole life that's healthy and strong and X, Y, and Z, and they never ate meat, okay, how can you say it's not right? How can you say it's wrong for that person? The proof is in the pudding, essentially. However, we also don't know everything about genetic potential. We don't know everything about epigenetics. We're still working with shit that we can fucking program human beings and really turn on and off genes and gene sequences and everything. It's insane. Epigenetics is nuts. So we don't know that, okay, maybe with people with this specific gene sequence can eat maybe any kind of diet and be fucking great. Maybe people with this gene sequence can smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and live to be 100 with no lung cancer. Maybe this gene sequence never smokes, and they're guaranteed to get lung cancer. Maybe this gene sequence can only have high fat, but if they ate vegan, they would have all these issues and their hair would fall out, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there is a universal way that a human being should eat, but there is a lot of common sense and research and just like anthropology that just shows how we got here today. So a lot of these real hardcore belief systems come from, okay, well, this is what we used to do, so this must be the answer. And then there's also the science people. Well, we've discovered a lot of things through human ingenuity and brilliance that it might be this way. Why can't we create this new system and this new process? Like, who's to say who's right or wrong? That gets philosophical, and that also gets back to the human ego. People don't want to be proven wrong. And it's very easy to latch onto, this is the answer. You know, fucking Hitler did it. Hitler did it. You get behind one idea, nothing else matters. Like this, you know, and you start fucking waving to people, and you know, you lose that flexibility in your wrist and your elbow, and things kind of go a little bit fucking sideways. You know, there's people get. I mean, that's where you get dictators. That's where you get these fucking religious fanatics. That's where you get all these extremists. And the fitness is like a little subculture of extremists. You have the extreme paleo, you have the extreme CrossFit, you have the extreme keto, you have the extreme carb, you have the extreme vegan, you have the extreme carnivore, where they're only eating meat. I don't like the phrase everything in moderation. I think that's an excuse. I think that's bullshit. I think that's a pussy way out. I also don't necessarily think that every extreme works for each person. I think some people can get away with extremes, or they get fortunate enough to find that an extreme happens to work for them, and then they just get even more, you know, loud and they start running their mouth. But extremes, I think, can be very sketchy. I think most people fall somewhere in the middle, not moderation. I don't think moderation is the answer, but I think like a stronger bias towards one of these is good. But I don't think you necessarily have to be full keto. I don't think you necessarily have to be full vegan. Like, I don't think you have to necessarily go to all these things, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work for some people. So when you say the fitness industry is full of extreme, everything is full of extreme. Everything is full of extremes. Politics are full of extremes. Religious is full of extremes. Human beings are full of extremes. People love to have a cause. People love to have their thought and their thought be right. And that's the way it is. They can just get around something. It's like a blankie. People need to have like their fucking thing. And I have my things, but I'm still more open-minded because, okay, what if you come out that this is much better? And there's proof. It's like, well, fuck. I mean, how are you going to argue that if you can? I want to be healthier. I'm doing what I feel is best by me from what I see and from what I've researched and what I read and what I talk to and what I've tried. But if you're going to come and tell me like and show me all this fucking proof, show me everything and it's really rock solid and it's fucking all the clinical trial, like it's really, I might be like, okay, let me give that a shot. Maybe that's a better answer, a better option. So it's just important not to be so fucking locked. Not so locked. We get very, very locked. What are your thoughts on health benefits of fermented foods, kimchi? I think they're beneficial. I don't know a lot of details about them, like all the details, but I've heard wonderful things about fermentation and the benefits. I think there's a lot there. I'm not an expert on it though, but I definitely have heard positive things. I don't want to say that's like fringe science because it's not fringe. It's just like, I think people put that aside as like, well, that's vegan stuff. You know, fermentation is kind of like kooky stuff. It's not. It's like, I think there's a lot of good health properties. I just don't know off the top of my head all the benefits. I used to. There's a time when I was really into all those natural things and really going down that road. But more recently, I just haven't kept up with it. Have you heard of requiring or different blood types requiring different diets? Yes. I think the blood diet stuff has been debunked. I'm not sure. But I remember that was popular when it came out, but I haven't heard much about it, which leads me to believe that I don't know if there's been anything new with it. There could be something. I think it's probably more genetic rather than his blood type. I don't know. My blood type, I think I'm like a meat eater, which makes sense. But falling into something like the blood type diet might. I don't know much. I don't know everything about that, but it could go into something like constellations, if that makes sense, astrology, where your astrology, if you're an Aquarius or you're this and it just happens, oh, that's so me, that's totally me, it's more of a coincidence rather than, oh, that's the way it is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the exact science or how many real true tests have been done with the blood test diet. If any of you have any experiences or you have more information on that, you can share it. I haven't heard much about the blood type diet lately, though. Let's see. Tim Whiskerchen, do you add yoga every day post workout? I don't. You can. I just don't have time. If I even fucking work out, I need to do more yoga. I've fallen off this past week. Just been busy. Never did yoga until joining Swolenormous X, and since adding yoga, there have been noticeable recovery on my lower back, which is my weakest area. That's what I'm saying. Fam, listen to this guy. Thanks for the videos. Yes, that's awesome, Tim. You can. You certainly can do yoga every day post-workout. Like, it's a great cool down. It's great mobility. That's up to you in terms of your programming. I need to do more yoga. I need to get back into it. This, like I said, this past week, I haven't practiced as much as I would normally do, which isn't as much as I would want to anyway. But yeah, yoga's great. Yoga's fantastic. It's amazing active recovery. Mike Stuttle, what do you recommend for low blood sugar other than juice? I realized I used to drink a ton of juice because of the blood sugar dropping. What's best? I don't want to speak on that. I'm not gonna touch that one for blood sugar dropping. Juice is it's just sugar water. It's sugar water. Like if your blood sugar is dropping, stabilize it. Like, is it something you're looking for like a quick fix? I'm not a diabetes expert or a medical doctor, so legalities aside, got to be careful. Like, oh, eat this. But food, carbs raise blood sugar. If you're looking for something quick, then why change it if it's not broken? If you can raise your blood sugar quickly with juice, then maybe that's the best option if you're in that situation. Michael Bastian. I tried the keto diet for about a month. Can't believe the amount of carbs and foods that you would think aren't that high. Definitely takes serious dedication to stay strict. It does at first because you're addicted to carbs. It does at first. What fucks people up with keto is that they just go cold turkey. They just stop eating carbs and just eat tons of fat. Then they get indigestion, they get keto flu, they get all these fucking issues because all of a sudden their body has an injection of just fucking pure fat. And it's hard to digest if your body's not used to it. So people have issues with keto right away because they try to go to extremes. People don't gradually go into keto. You need to. You need to gradually get into eating higher fat. You can't just stop like, no carbs, now it's all fat. You do realize your body doesn't know how to fucking handle all that instantaneously, right? Your body doesn't know that it's never getting carbs again on Monday just because you decided this morning, I'm not gonna eat carbs today. Your body's not gonna be like, all right, let's change all the entire systems. Let's rehaul the whole thing. No. After a week or two, it's like, oh shit, that's not coming back. We got to really scrape this stuff together. And then your body will shift over. Abigail, keto is not a sprint, more of a long-term marathon. It takes time and discipline, for sure. For sure. Sweetness Cath, the glycemic index is a brilliant... Glycemic index has been around for fucking decades. You're like the person that shows up late to the party. Glycemic index. Glycemic index, yeah. For those that don't know, the glycemic index is just a measurement of how the impact on food, on blood sugar. So some foods absorb quicker into the bloodstream than others. But the glycemic index is definitely a useful indicator in knowing whether or not a carb will spike insulin or, might be more of a simple glucose, fructose, glucose compound, especially if you have sugar issues. Michael, definitely not a short-term diet. I was using keto strips and usually was only in mild ketosis. I think maybe my protein intake was too high. It could have been. Those keto strips aren't always accurate as well. I'm pretty sure the longer you're in ketosis, the less accurate those strips are. I think people put way too much stock in those strips because as your body is more efficient with ketosis, you're going to be pissing out less evidence essentially for ketones. So that's pretty sure. Like I forget where I read that, but the longer you're in ketosis, the less and less accurate those strips are. I do yoga every day, then go into weight training. Yoga is awesome. Hell yeah. What's your opinion on keto versus Atkins? I don't know the specific details versus keto and Atkins. I haven't studied the Atkins diet in detail to know the differences specifically, because I know Atkins is lower carb, higher fat. So I don't have an opinion on that. Try, if you are looking for something to do, here's the problem and here's the good thing. If you're looking for something to do, the positive thing is you're trying to improve. The problem is you're looking for something to do. You're looking for an answer. Which is better? What's my opinion? What should you do? This versus this versus that. And the problem with that is you're still not figuring out which foods are best for you. So that's why in Swolenormous X, that's why with my community, my private community, with my programs and stuff, that's why we're always doing the elimination diet. That's why the elimination diet still reigns supreme despite any dietary habits you wish to have after, whether you want to do keto or Atkins or vegan or whatever. If you know what foods you react to the best, you can make those decisions based on your lifestyle and based on your personal preferences and what you feel is good for you. Isolating the foods that you should be eating and then how you eat those foods comes second. Atkins diet is meant to be really bad for you. Where are you getting that? You're just speaking words? That's not true. That's not true. Atkins was one of the biggest voices against the low-fat, high-carbohydrate kick that's killing this country. He was one of the people that everyone like made out to be a kook, and he's just a doctor. He's just doing, putting his patients on this. His patients were seeing amazing results, and no one wanted to listen to him. And he was the biggest voice against it, and they pretty much demonized Atkins and pushed the high-carb, low-fat thing through, and it's killing everyone in the country. So I don't think it's very bad for you. I don't know if there's any evidence or anyone that any proof that Atkins is bad, because it's a high-fat diet. The subtle differences between keto and Atkins, maybe one of you knows that. You could drop that in the comments. I haven't analyzed that diet that closely. Like I said, it's all secondary. It's all secondary to an elimination diet. It's all secondary to knowing what foods are best for you. Once you know what foods are best for you, then you can make those decisions. Laura Hendricks, watching NCAA basketball. Why? I'm kidding. They were talking about a team that did a blood test to identify basically what you try to identify with the elimination diet. Oh, like an allergy test. Do you just drink your coffee black? No, I drink bulletproof coffee. Atkins, low carb, high protein. I'm pretty sure that it was high fat. I thought it was high fat. Or that was the old Atkins diet. Pretty sure it was higher fat, because I know a lot of people that are talking about they're on the Atkins diet and they're telling me they're doing a lot of fat. So I can look at it. I just don't care. I just don't care about that diet. I like ketosis. I like high fat. I'm not a fan of high protein, if that's actually the case, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't all about high protein. Do you mostly eat greens, bacon, and grass-fed meats and drink bulletproof coffee? Do I mostly eat all my foods? I eat those things, yeah. I'm not going to go over like every fucking thing in my fridge right now, but yeah, I eat greens, bacon, I eat grass-fed meats, and I drink bulletproof coffee. I do those things, yeah, sure do. Sure enough do. But yeah, if you're going to do low carb, you should be consuming high fat. You shouldn't be doing high protein. I don't think there's any need for high protein. Low, moderate protein. And those of you that are doing ketosis, I'll leave you with this. If you're doing ketosis and you just kind of jumped in and didn't do your research and don't know everything about it, you need to start doing your research. You need to look into it, because if you are doing a ketosis style diet or ketosis and you're pushing your body into ketosis, it's not a keto diet, it's going into ketosis. And if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that your protein intake doesn't increase. You need to make sure that your protein is not too high, because if your protein is too high, you will kick yourself out of ketosis essentially because your body will make and create sugar from protein. It's called gluconeogenesis. Ooh, big words. Your body actually creates sugars from amino acids, and it does this all the time. But it will also do this with a specific percentage of protein. So if your protein's too high, you can actually not be in ketosis because you're consuming too much protein. Protein is definitely an overrated macro. Protein is definitely, I agree. Protein is severely overrated. I don't want to say it's overrated in terms of like it's not necessary, but there's a huge stress all the time on protein. And we know that protein is nowhere, the volume that we eat with protein is nowhere near what's required for human proper functioning. You do not need that much protein. I don't like quinoa. I'm not a fan of quinoa, one of those Western grains, generally known as an inflammatory. I'm not a personal fan of quinoa. I never felt any benefit from consuming it when I tried it. It's just a grain, and grains are known to be inflammatory. So if you're having issues and you're consuming quinoa, cut it out. All right, last question. What do you think one of the best exercise to build your shoulders is? My shoulders are my weakest area. Weakest? Shoulder presses, side raises, rear deltoid, prone press. There's a bunch of them. Now, weakest, strongest, why are they weak? Middle and lower traps aren't being activated. Are your shoulders imbalanced? Do you have core stability? Are your glutes activating properly? Do you have proper posture? There's a lot of other factors when it comes to strength. So your perception of what's weak could very well not be what's actually weak. It could be your shoulder girdle and not actually like what's up on top of your arms by your neck. So there's a lot of other aspects to that. The stability that needs to be created to have strong shoulders and to be able to push a lot of weight through your shoulder joint is very important. So you have to make sure that all the muscles around your upper back and the middle back are activating properly and you have proper posture and proper alignment so you can execute that kind of strength and develop the shoulder joint if you're looking for more size in addition to more strength. Great questions, fam. Thank you so much for all the awesome feedback. Remember, if you still want to jump in on that special offer for Swolenormous X, do not wait because prices are going up shortly with my membership community because the content is just fucking blowing up over there. So do not wait. We're still in the new launch phase and it is February. So don't wait to get your locked-in rates for Swolenormous X for all my programs, my workshops, virtual trainings, weekly yoga classes, everything. So swolenormousx.com. New content dropping today and tomorrow in Swolenormous X. So members that are watching, stay tuned for that. I'll make announcements on my Instagram stories and so forth, as well as I'll post a link to this what we talked about today in Swolenormous Premium. So X members, you can take a link, check out the link, and check out the details on what we talked about today for today's episode. And aside from that, what else is new? What else is going on? Tomorrow, episode 646. So we'll dig into some more juicy juice. And make sure you follow me over on Instagram. If you're not, thanks for watching on YouTube, watching on Instagram and Facebook. If you have not yet left a Facebook review, I would mucho appreciate it if you are on Instagram, if you're listening on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Google Play. Please head on over to my Facebook page. Wherever you're watching or listening, drop a review, but definitely at least leave one on Facebook. Everyone's got Facebook. Even if you don't like to use Facebook because everyone stalks me, change your settings, stop being a baby, sign on to Facebook, go to Swolenormous on Facebook, hit the reviews, and drop me a couple sentences. Leave me a review. Let me know what you think of the content. I would love to give you all a shout out, and especially on Instagram, I want to give some shout outs on my Instagram stories today. So your experiences, Instagram, your experiences, and even if you're on Facebook, you go over there if you like to use Instagram too. DM me on Instagram. Send me a couple sentences. Let me know what changes you've made since coming to the Daily Swole, since watching my content, looking at the pictures, interacting with the community, being a part of Swolenormous X, whatever experiences you've had with this community, send me a DM on Instagram, and I would love to give you a shout out and tag you in my story. So that would be awesome. So Facebook reviews, DMs on Instagram, and let's blow this up today. I'm looking forward to an awesome Saturday. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose, Papa Swolio. Out.